Hello and welcome to Driving.ca. I'm Alex Reed, and behind me is the 2021 Elantra N Line, the brand's answer to the Honda Civic Si. Hyundai is expanding its performance N Line trim into every vehicle in the lineup, and this is the latest, the Elantra N Line. But does having a performance bent make up for the compromises that you get with a sedan? While the demographic is definitely dwindling, there are still people out there who prefer the classic body style of a sedan to something like an SUV. One of the largest benefits of the sedan body style is that it has a low center of gravity, which means that manufacturers can just add performance parts to make for a more fun vehicle. However, choosing a sedan over a crossover definitely does still have its compromises. This is the Elantra N Line trim, which is the middle of the road for Honda's performance vehicles. You can't get a full-blooded N performance Elantra yet, but there is one in the works. Under the hood is a 1.6-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder engine. Makes 201 horsepower, and it connects the power to the wheels via a dual clutch transmission. And call me old school, but that's pretty impressive for a commuter car. A 6-speed manual is also available, but the DCT is something that you can just put in auto mode, and it really is something that you can just drive around town, and when you want, you can switch on the sport mode and have some fun. You don't have to worry about rowing your gears in traffic, which is honestly a pain. This isn't just a bunch of fancy badges and contrast red stitching. Hyundai has actually messed around underneath the surface. The N Line has independent rear suspension, unlike the base model, as well as bigger brakes, firmer dampers, and stiffer springs, as well as stiffer anti-roll bars. As for creature comforts, heated seats and steering wheel are included, as is dual zone climate control and wireless phone charging. You also get the standard Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. The bent-on performance clearly comes through when you have a look at the dashboard. The N Line has to have some of the coolest gauges that I've ever seen fitted to a sedan, and they're actually analog, which makes for a much more pleasurable experience. The drive mode selector is a big button on the dashboard, so it's easy to switch back and forth from hooligan mode to smart mode, which improves fuel economy. In a stark departure from regular vehicles, I noticed that the Elantra turns about 2,500 RPM on the highway, going about 110 kilometers an hour, and that's pretty high for a vehicle that has a 7-speed transmission. That means that you get a lot better acceleration. Unfortunately, this is at the cost of fuel mileage. This car feels $10,000 more than it actually is. Stepping up to the N Line trim is just $29,524, including destination, and just $27,799 when you don't include that. The power numbers and price suggest that this should actually be competing with something like the Honda Civic Si. Luckily, this is actually a great time to get one of these because Honda didn't make a Civic Si for 2021. They're coming back for 2022, but unfortunately, it looks like it got beat with an ugly stick and fell off the ugly tree and hit every branch on the way down, and then all those branches were used to beat it again. It looks terrible. So why should you buy it? Well, everything feels really high quality. There are small details everywhere that make it feel a lot more expensive than it actually is. Take, for example, these turn signal stalks and the windshield wiper stalks. The first time I felt them, it was just so expected that they would put a detail like that into a commuter sedan, a $27,000 commuter sedan. It really feels nice. They could have cheaped out on those, but they didn't. And that's really what Hyundai's all about. The N Line is also kind of an animal. I mean, a 4-cylinder shouldn't sound this good, but it does. It makes you drive like an absolute hooligan because you just want to hear the engine. If you're going to drive like a hooligan, you're definitely going to want some safety equipment, and the N Line is decently equipped. It's got things like lane keep assist and front crash avoidance, which I've noticed helps really well with figuring out how late you can brake in a corner. As for the styling, you're either going to love it or you're going to hate it. I, for one, think it looks pretty good, and it's actually something different in the sedan market, which is kind of a hard segment to really differentiate yourself, but the N Line really does that. This is a car that favors driving over lounging, and as such, the infotainment is kind of a disaster, and it's a little bit too far away. I've got long arms, and getting to the control knob is just a little bit more than a stretch, and that's not what you want. It also doesn't have satellite navigation, but with Android Auto and Apple CarPlay standard, that should be enough to get you around town. The gas mileage is also just okay, 8.4 liters per 100 kilometer in the city, 6.6 on the highway, and 7.6 combined. And that's okay, and you're actually gonna get worse gas mileage than that because you're gonna drive this thing like a hooligan. It's so much fun. For the price, you aren't getting torque vectoring all-wheel drive, but you are getting a DCT, and the electronic gubbins all inside the front end actually make up for the fact that it doesn't have a locking differential or a limited slip diff. As for the trunk, while it is huge, it should be a hatchback like the Kia Stinger. There's enough room back there to lift the rear glass, and they just didn't. So I think that's kind of a misstep in a segment where it's already hard enough to sell vehicles. Hyundai is definitely punching above its weight class with the Elantra N Line. For those still interested in sedans, it offers a worthy competitor to more pricey and frankly less exciting options from other brands. If you're willing to live with the compromises of a sedan, the N Line offers a spot of fun in an otherwise dreary commute. I'm Alex Reed for Driving.ca. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more videos.